All right, guys, so we're going to be honest with you today. The real truth behind what it takes to make a change. If you're trying to make a change in your golf swing at the moment and you're struggling to get it to work in practice or on the golf course, then this video is really going to help. It's not sexy, but it's the truth. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the channel, guys. My name is Danny Malcolm. Thank you so much for joining me in today's video. Today, I want to share the truth with you, the truth behind what it takes to actually make a swing change. Now, there's lots of great information here on YouTube and over on the internet, but oftentimes on a daily basis, I'm seeing players who are jumping from one drill or one tip to another and not giving any of those time to bed into the swing, and certainly not to be able to take it out to the golf course. And absolutely, there's times where, from a coaching perspective, there are things that you can alter quickly to make real change instantly. In those occasions, that's fantastic, brilliant. Oftentimes, if the truth is that the player doesn't really want to go through the challenges and the persistence, the struggle to actually make that change, then that's fine too. Then I would opt for a more skilled approach, trying to work with what you've got and affect your impact and your ball flight and whatever you're trying to improve that way. But if you're truly trying to make a change for the right reason, a technical change, then the truth is it's going to take time. It's going to be challenging, and I like to think of 66 days as a general rule of thumb behind what it takes to make a new habit. That's something I got there from Robin Sharma. Everything we do in life is generally a habit, and so with neuroplasticity, our brains are actually, we're able to change the neural pathways in our brain to do a different habit or to move a different way or to make different choices. But if we don't and we just let it be and just keep repeating that habit, it just gets stronger and stronger and stronger. And so you just keep following that same route every single time. So if you think of, for example, if you're trying to change a habit from a health perspective, instead of drinking Coke, you drink water. The more times you do that, the more times, and over time, those small daily changes over time, your health will improve. If you take the elevator instead of the stairs, take the stairs instead of the elevator, then of course that's better exercise, and you do that often over a longer period, then your health and fitness is going to improve. So think of the golf swing the same way. Think of 66 days. Now, obviously that's dependent on how much you put in each day and just a general rule of thumb that we're throwing out there, but it just gives you an idea or a template, a focus to what it actually makes to make a change. So I've had clients coming in recently, and some are really willing to, particularly players who are on the monthly coaching program that I have online and in person, where there's frequent check-ins online via video to ensure changes are being implemented, and that way things are going to last a lot longer in terms of a change. But if you don't want to make that change, that's fine. Just be honest, that's great, no problem. We can look at other areas that we can improve without making big changes. But if you want to really take that next step, then there may be changes to be made. So I'm going to use an example of, well, firstly, before that, an example that I had when I was younger, when I was playing off +1 handicap, England coach at the time. I was 17, David Ridley, great coach back there in England. And we made a slight change to my grip, and it was such a small change. It was, I can't even remember what it was, but it was such a small change with the positioning of my hands. And during that lesson, I couldn't hit the ball. I was hitting it sideways. It felt horrendous. It felt so bad, so bad. I thought, how am I going to stick with this? How am I going to be able to play like this? And what he said was, Danny, when you're watching TV at night, when you go home, just get used to that change. Just keep holding it, just keep repeating it, and over time you'll get used to it. Now, I stuck with that because of who he was and the respect I had for him and how he'd helped a lot of other players do extremely well. So I stuck with it. I understood why we were making the change, so it's easy to persist. And so over time, I got used to it, and that is the same grip that I do today. And so I'm giving you that permission to firstly understand why you're making a change, how it's going to affect your ball flight in the long run, how it's going to affect your game in the long run. And if you can get behind that, then you're more willing to stick with the changes. So ensure that you're clear, whether you're doing it yourself or if you can get a coach to give you that pathway to keep you on track, then that's going to be the best idea. So for an example here, if we're going to make a change let's use that 66 days analogy. We've got the first 22 days is going to be, as Robin Sharma puts it, destruction. So you're going to just destroy the old habit. So let's use an example, just throwing this out there for a swing change. Let's use the takeaway as an example. So in the backswing. So if you were a player, let's say that swung it to inside and that was causing you some issues, and you was getting super flat on the backswing, which was maybe causing some issues on the way down. Just let's put that out there, if that's the idea. Then you might want to be working on the opposite of that. So you might need to be, let's for example say, working on getting the club head a little bit more outside your hands, getting the shaft to pitch a little bit steeper on this backswing, which may help you get it in a better position, slightly shallower in a downswing. Just let's use that example. So if you're trying to change this takeaway, the truth is you're going to have to destroy that old habit. So you can use training aids, you could use video for feedback, anything really. But you need some sort of feedback to ensure that you're doing it correctly and exaggerating it more at first. So we'll go through these stages. First one is really doing it without a club. And this would sound silly. When I was younger and I'd walk around the streets of Nottingham shopping, maybe I was in my mid-teens, and I would see the reflection in the mirror in the shops, and I'd be looking in the mirror and I'd have no golf club in my hand, and I'd be working on certain things in my swing. So I'd be working on some backswing feels, I'd see my reflection in the mirror, and my friends would say, "What are you doing, Danny?" And there's probably people looking around thinking, "Who's this crazy guy?" But back then we didn't have video either, so I couldn't really see on camera, but I'd be there working on the feels. And so first is stage one, without a golf club whatsoever. So working on the movement, and if you can do it without a golf club first, then you're ready to jump to the next stage. So the next stage would be with a golf club, but without a ball. So we take the ball away and we start to work on those same feels. So in this case, club head outside the hands, feeling the shaft pitching a little bit steeper is the feel for this scenario. And then swinging through. And I'm just doing slow, very slow half swings. And I would be filming this now or looking in the mirror. We've got a mirror just here. And I'd be looking at it, doing it slowly, working on those feels, trying to bed in some new neural pathways, break the old habits, and start to create some new ones and start to layer that foundation. So super slow, really feeling it, feeling what it's like. So difficult to make a swing change fast. It's just, you're just not going to rewire those neural pathways. And so when players come in and we say we try and do something, we're trying to create a change and just go to hitting full shots, you're just going to move the way that you move because that's the habit, that's how you move, that's the pathways that you've ingrained, and that's fine. But you've got to break them down, you've got to chip away at them to break them down. There's a couple of good friends that I know who are very good professional players, and it's so interesting to see the small changes they're trying to make in their swing and how deliberate and how persistent they are at trying to create those changes with slow swings and the feels and drills and just, it's so diligent, but that's the way you've got to go. And if those guys are doing it at their level, why not learn from that? So granted, we don't have necessarily all that time, but a lot of this you can do at home. The beauty I love about particularly online coaching, and a lot of times now people have got nets at home or they can hit foam balls into the wall or in the back garden. You don't need to be seeing where the ball's going when you're making a movement change. So this is blocked practice. So that's stage two, slow without a ball. Stage three would be fast, and in this instance I'm going to put on the video here so we can see. So the next instance would be fast without a ball, and you'd film this. If you had your camera here, you'd film it too. So working on those feels again, take away, so now we'll go faster, and then I'd film it, come back, have a look, see how I went again. And if I start to creep back to this old takeaway, for example, then you think, okay, well, let's not proceed to the next stage until I can do it without a ball quick. If you start to do it quick without a ball, then proceed to the next stage. And this is where you go slow but with a ball. I've done this with a few clients of late, and it's very, very difficult and challenging, but you'd literally go at this pace here and swinging through. And then you go and check it on video. So you'd go back, check yourself, check how you're doing. Yep, I like the pitch of that shaft, for example. So that would be good if I was working on that. It's inside the ball to target line versus pointing out here. So I love that. So happy with that. So yeah, we'll go again. And you start to, you know, just give that feedback loop to, are you doing it correctly? So it's good quality reps over time. So I might go a little bit quicker this time. And I'm not worrying about strike. I'm not worrying about direction. I've purposely taken the result off the screen because I'm working on movement. I'm working on quality movement. And so looking at it again, really like that one. Good. So, you know, this is a feedback, guys. You don't need to be drawing all these fancy lines when you're doing it, but you can get a general look as you look at the swing. So yeah, like that, club head's tracking nicely just outside my hands. Certainly one of my tendencies is to get that club quite a lot inside here. But that's beautiful. That's what I'd be looking for. And then shallow it. So very happy with that. And you start to build it up, guys. So what you'd see there as well, I'm also doing not only slow swings, but half swings. So drill I like there is the half swing. Check out my video called The Ultimate Golf Drill. This is what I feel is one of the best drills you can do when things are going astray in your swing, just in general. 9 to 3, if you think of a clock face, 9 to 3, or half swing, half and half, whatever you want to call it. But you're working on half swing and trying to ingrain those feels. So then I might do that half swing quicker. So I'll be here again, just getting a feel for that takeaway in that backswing. So it'll be a half swing but quicker. And I check it again on video. So you're not just aimlessly, yes, that's good there. So you're not just aimlessly bashing balls, guys. This is what it takes. This is what it takes. I've hit 3 balls so far, but I've done a lot of quality reps, And so this is good on your body too, because you're not just smacking balls at full speed. And if I'm doing well at that for a while, then okay, I might start to crank it up to slightly slower, but full swings. So I might see how this is at full swing, but a bit slower. And again, I'm not worried about strike because that wasn't good, but oftentimes people will think, oh gee, I've struck that terrible, that must not have been a good swing. But then you check it and you think, well, let's have a look. That's club head's outside of hands, yeah, it's steeper on the way back, fine. So you look at that and think, well, I've got the club where I want it. Things like strike and low point, those little small skill ideas, you can shift that once you're moving better, more consistent, because that's really all we're looking to do in a golf swing. We're trying to get the golf club swinging on a good arc, a good plane around the body, swinging around the body without getting crazy one way, you know, too much in here or too much out there. Yes, there's outliers there on the PGA Tour and in the professional world, absolutely. But these guys, super talented, they can make that work oftentimes. We're not trying to put the players that we see here in a box, that's for sure, but we're trying to give you less chance of going astray and require less skill and less late moves, for example, to get the club back on plane, which by nature is going to be inconsistent unless you're doing it day after day after day after day and you've got the talent of some of these guys. So let's just understand that. So then I might go, if that's looking good, then I might start to build up some full swings and just start to go up to closer to full speed. So I'll be working on those feels again here, and then I'll hit one here, not worried about strike. And yeah, I struck that well, but I'm not fussed. That's not the goal here. And so I'll check that at full speed. Just about hanging in there. Yeah, happy with that. So that would be considered I guess a success in terms of integrating that change or trying to destruct that old habit, because you can see there that old habit's gone in this scenario in practice. The second 22 days, so that's your first 22 in destructing it, so you do lots of reps like that, not worried about where it's going. The second 22 days you might start to see, okay, well, can this hold up? This would be called installation, if you like. Can this hold up with me in practice hitting shots, giving a bit more concern about where it's going? Can I still move that way? So you're starting to transition from blocked practice to more, I guess, random practice, and then transition out to the golf course. So this would be the same idea, and I'm going to go straight into full swing, seeing I'm going to hopefully try and hit some little shots here that are going to be okay. So now I am concerned about strike, I am concerned about direction, trying to hit some reasonable shots, and checking in to see how my swing held up under a scenario where I'm actually looking to see where the ball's going. So now we can see, okay, this is probably where it starts to break down sometimes for me. So this is good, that's better. So yeah, so that pattern's coming in. That pattern's starting to come in. Obviously you do that for longer. I'm here just showing you on a quick video, but that's the idea. Then you can see over time, if I start to practice and it starts to get a little bit like this, then I think, well, you know, it's a good shot, ironically, but you can see that's not the move that I'm trying to do. And you can see that club head's whipping on the inside. Yes, I've made it work with skill, but that's the club getting off playing early and starting to make me have to compensate. So that's a good example there. You can still hit good shots with the incorrect moves, but over time, if you've got your club in the spot, let's say your coach is trying to get you to do a certain thing, if you repeat that and get it, that surely, hopefully it's the right thing you're trying to work on, is going to give you a better chance of getting that impact more consistent and better able to improve your skill on top of that technique. So there you go, guys. That's the kind of process. 22 days destruction, 22 days installation, and then the last 22 days would be, can you start to do it out on the golf course? Can you start to get that swing doing what it's doing out on the golf course and trusting it? The tour professionals, when they're out there, it can take them months and months and months to get used to a even small swing change. So I'm just using that 66 days as an example. It could take longer than that, of course, but that's when you start to see, and you can film yourself out on the course when you're practicing too, under some sort of pressure scenarios. How's my swing looking out on the course? How's that swing change? Whatever it might be for you. I've just used that backswing as an example just for this video. So guys, I hope that helps. That is the truth behind what it takes to make a swing change, and that's the kind of process you'll be looking to work through. Having that feedback loop, having the destruction phase of some training aids that you might utilize, video feedback, starting slow without a club, then slow with a club without a ball, faster with a club without a ball, slow with a club with a ball, and fast with a club and with a ball, and you start to work through those changes. Now that is blocked practice, as I just said, so don't get bogged down so much with that when you're playing. Absolutely not. This is for the range, this is for the practice, this is for at home in the garage, in the net. So keep it for that, and when you play, go out and play, but you can still see and video yourself. Is it holding up? Am I doing what I'm doing on the range and in practice and under pressure on the range? Am I doing that on the golf course? And that's how you start to implement changes, guys. That's what it takes. That's the process. So understand that. If you want to make that change, be willing and open to the struggle and the challenges that will no doubt come. Don't be so concerned about the missed strikes when you're going through a blocked practice session. Don't worry whatsoever. You can then go through some skill work, which I've got on other videos, to check those out, to improve those little changes to affect strike and to affect low point. Check out those videos there. That's where you can start to really get your new swing change working for you in a really, really good way. So guys, I hope that helped. Thank you so much for watching. I do also offer online coaching, so I can support you with any swing changes that you guys might need, along with some skill drills, practice plans, etc., all online. So check out the link above if you would like to work with me remotely and get improving your game. Thanks again for watching, guys. Any questions, please let me know, and look forward to seeing you in the next video.